Hey everyone, Josh Baldwin here with Vegan Fit. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about leg isolation exercises. So, one of the big questions is, should you even do these at all? And what I would say is, in general, try to avoid these, okay? If you're healthy, you should shoot for squats and lunges and deadlifts and hip thrusts. Those are better exercises. But let's say you've got some injuries preventing you from doing some of those. Like for me, I had a groin injury recently that just kind of stuck around for a long time. So I decided I couldn't do squats and lunges anymore until it healed up. So in that case, these leg isolation exercises become somewhat of a necessity unless you want to just give up on legs. So the main thing to focus on when you're doing these leg isolation exercises is that they can be safe and effective if you do them properly. And by properly, I'm going to show you a lot of different techniques, but the main thing to remember on all of these is don't go too heavy and maintain control. Don't try to make these explosive movements, right? Maintain control, take your time, always in control. And as far as the weight goes, pick a weight that you can do 10 to 12 reps, but not just 10 to 12 fast ones, 10 to 12 slow, controlled reps. So first up, we've got our leg extension. This is probably the most popular isolated leg exercise, targeting the quads. There's a couple of different things we want to watch out for here. The main thing that you can see that I'm doing here is I am going down to right about 90 degrees with my leg. I'm not going to go past that. That's the thing you don't want to do on these. And I'm also staying smooth and controlled. What you don't want to do is explode up, and you don't want to start super negative like you see me here on this one, where I've got my foot going well under my knee. That puts your knees in a pretty rough, compromised position, so avoid that, right? I know you want to get the most range of motion that you can, but you got to be smart about this kind of stuff. So try to put that pad there right at 90 degrees. And once you start going, stay controlled. Don't do this. Don't go fast. Don't try to explode up and then let that weight drop fast. Stay in control on these, and they're great. The next thing to talk about is the foot placement here, the leg width. So you don't want to be wide on these. Just like most other quad exercises, you want to have your feet basically in line with your shoulders. Fairly narrow, going straight up, controlling the way down. Sometimes I see guys at the gym doing these kind of wider ones that I'm going to show you in a second here. That's what you don't want to do. That's not going to be good for the knee, and you're going to miss out on a lot of quad action. You're going to get a little bit of kind of inner thigh, a little bit of glute. It's going to feel kind of odd. It's definitely not going to target the quads like you want. Next up, we got the hamstring curl. Now this is also a really popular one. The number one thing I can stress to you on this one in order to keep it safe and effective is to take your time and maintain control. There is no reason here for you to bounce around and fly around. The second tip I'm going to give you here is that your starting position doesn't really hyperextend your knee. So when you're going down, you want to go about 90-95% down, not quite straightening the legs. Some people will go so low that it basically is hyperextending the knee at the bottom of the rep. That is not what you want here. So go down nice and controlled, go about 90% down. Don't let those legs lock entirely. Keep some tension on the hamstrings. Pull up pretty smooth. Try to give a little bit of fight at the top. It's hard to tell here in the video, but I am trying to kind of keep it at the top for about a half a second. I'm working as hard as I can to fight to keep it tight at the top. So here's the starting position I was talking about. That's not what you want. You notice here, while I'm getting set up, I'm having to lift up while my legs are straight, which is hyperextending the knee. You do not want to do that. Make sure as you're laying down to get set up, you still got some play there. You're not already locked into that pad. So remember, don't kick these really hard. Don't just try to yank them up and hit your butt and just keep dropping them really fast. Maintain control here. All these leg isolation exercises are going to revolve around control. Next up, I'm going to show you the hip abduction machine. So this one's kind of tricky. I don't recommend this to a lot of people. It's not necessarily the best exercise for this, but if you're trying to kind of work on the outer glutes, these can be really effective if you keep it fairly light and controlled and smooth. So try to go out fairly quick, reasonably smooth, and then try to hold it for a little half second and then squeeze back in. And don't rush these. Don't just jump around. It can be kind of rough on the IT band if you go too fast and you're too abrupt with your movement. Again, I'd much prefer a deadlift or a squat for working the glutes, but if you don't have that as an option because of injuries or other reasons, these exercises can be really effective. So just take it slow, kind of squeeze the outside of your glutes as you spread there. You're gonna feel that one for sure. So I hope these tips help you guys out with your leg isolation exercises. Remember, if you're pretty safe and you don't have any injuries, really focus on the compound movements. Focus on squats, lunges, deadlifts. That stuff's really hard to beat. But if you've got some injuries or you feel like changing it up a little bit, these leg isolation exercises can be effective. But you've got to maintain control. Don't rush these. Take your time. Get good, clean reps in. There's no reason to push the weight on these either. Just keep it light and controlled, and you will get results from these. Let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comment section. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys at the next video.
Shut down.